All right, everybody, good Tuesday afternoon. Today we're going to take a big old bite into what may very well prove to be nothing more than clickbait rumor garbage, but I can't help myself because this is the kind of thing that would actually get me excited. This is the kind of stuff that I like when talking about the Seattle Seahawks. And people like me and the people in my comment section and other Seahawks fans have spent a lot of time talking about, should we acquire somebody like a Stephon Gilmore? Should we acquire somebody like a Xavier Howard? And I've been pretty bearish on both of those ideas. I wasn't a big fan of either. I really didn't like Gilmore, and I had mixed thoughts on Xavier Howard. I understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand that we could stand to get a little better at the cornerback position. I understand that that position is one of the things that could hold us back in 2021. I just didn't feel like either of those trades made a whole lot of sense. The price, both of acquiring the player via picks or players, and the price in terms of the monetary cost of having that player on your team, didn't feel it. But this is interesting. And before I get into discussing the finer points of this, I want to stress I have no reason to believe at this time that the Seahawks are actively pursuing this. I don't know if any team in the league is actively pursuing this, although I would expect that if this is the case, a lot of teams would. Cornerback C.J. Henderson of the Jacksonville Jaguars is reportedly available in a trade. Now, I don't know if a team like the Jaguars would really give up on a guy of C.J. Henderson's pedigree after one season, but if any team would do it, I guess it could be the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it seems possible he could get moved. Remember, the Jaguars did just give a bunch of money to Shaquille Griffin, and they drafted Campbell from Georgia in the most recent draft. So on the table, this is the kind of thing that I like. All right, so Field Goals has a really comprehensive article on all the different angles on this trade. But for my own take on it, and by the way, if you want a really in-depth look at all the ins and outs of C.J. Henderson, definitely go read that article. According to his college coach, he's the best cornerback he ever coached at the college level. He's very, very fast. He runs a sub 4.4 40. He played so well in college that he earned himself the number 9 overall selection. And so far in his career, he's been about what you would expect for a rookie on the worst team in the league. All right, so in 2020, he only played in 8 games and then he got hurt. And the injury is not great because I know he had surgery this offseason. I think he had something else going on with his health this offseason. I know he was on the COVID list, not that that should matter at all going forward. But there is a little bit of a medical red flag here. But he played 8 games, had 1 interception, 6 pass deflections, 36 tackles, and his coverage numbers were okay. 65% completion, 443 yards on 51 targets, 4 touchdowns. It's not very good. But let's be real here. When you're on a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's hard to cover. They did not have a single player in 2020 amass more than 6 sacks, and they had one player have more than 3 sacks. They had one of the worst pass rushes I've ever seen. Over a 16-game schedule in 2020, 16 games, they had 18 sacks. They were not getting to the quarterback, and when you don't get to the quarterback, your cornerbacks are going to have a hell of a time covering. So honestly, I don't think these numbers are that bad. PFF says that he was okay, 58 PFF grade, which, given the fact that he had no pass rush backing him up and was on the worst team in the league, is probably pretty damn good. So my evaluation of C.J. Henderson based off just his numbers of his rookie year is that he played pretty well, all things considered. If you take a look at what he did in college, he's obviously pretty extraordinary. He played so well, he was a top 10 pick. But it's not even the stats that make me excited about C.J. Henderson. Let's take a look up here. This guy is not going to turn 23 until after regular season games start this year. This guy is young. This guy has an insanely high pedigree. This guy has the sea hockey size, 6'1", 200+ pounds. He's fast, like I said. This guy has almost all of the sea hockey type traits you typically look for in cornerbacks. He's young, and beyond all that, he's going to be cheap. Field Goals article outlines some predictions concerning what C.J. Henderson might go for. They guess that he will probably go for a round 2 selection, meaning that the Seahawks, who expect to be an above average to good team this year, could feasibly offer up their second round pick in 2022, which they still have, and quite possibly outbid everyone else. It really depends on how much interest there is in C.J. Henderson right now. So we could make that offer. It would suck to lose our second round pick, but if you're getting somebody as young and as talented and as clearly capable of being a good NFL player as C.J. Henderson, I really don't mind. He's played 1 year in the NFL. He's so close to being a rookie as is. It's like you're getting C.J. Henderson with your second round pick. I have no problem with that. But more than that, if we trade for C.J. Henderson, we are getting him with 3 or 4 years left on his rookie deal. However, most of that rookie deal, or a good chunk of it, would be paid out by the Jaguars because most of that rookie deal was guaranteed. So, or it was in a signing bonus rather. So if we traded for C.J. Henderson, as this article outlines, and by the way, go read it if you want to know more about C.J. Henderson, we would owe him $1.5 million this year, $2.5 million the next year, and $3.5 million the following year. Now, he does have a 5th-year option available as well, which would be a good chunk more. I think the 5th-year options on those contracts are typically north of 12 or 13 million, but that's not something we would have to think about for quite some time. We would be getting a super talented, very young player who has already proven to at least be capable of playing in the NFL for $7.5 million over the next 3 years. That's cheaper than even guys like Ahkello Witherspoon, who we signed for, I think, 1 year, $4 million. So we would be paying C.J. Henderson less money in each of the next 3 years than we are paying Ahkello Witherspoon this year. And Ahkello Witherspoon was kind of an afterthought in the offseason last year. Clearly, he has less potential. Maybe he has more experience, and maybe that's worth something. But honestly, it's peanuts. Unless C.J. Henderson just washes out of the NFL, this is a great price. Even if he's just mediocre, this is a pretty reasonable price. So that's the C.J. Henderson stuff, and I'm on board. This guy is the kind of guy you want to trade for. Not Stephon Gilmore, who is old, possibly on the downside of his career, and may have benefited tremendously from the system he played in, and is looking for a big payday. Not Xavier Howard, who is looking for a monster payday. I'm not taking anything away from Xavier Howard's ability on the field. I think he's tremendous. But looking for monster bucks that we probably just don't have. This is the kind of guy you want to trade for. A young, talented, proven capable guy who the current regime in Jacksonville is looking to possibly move on from for no other reason than that they didn't get him. They want their guys, and their guys are Shaquille Griffin and Tyson Campbell. Those are the guys they brought in. C.J. Henderson is a relic of the former regime. So they're looking at that guy and going, maybe he doesn't fit what they want to do. Maybe they don't think he's very good. It's possible that they see something with him in camp they don't like. But it's also possible they're just like, we just want our guys. Nothing against CJ, but we just want our guys. Those are the kinds of opportunities you want to bite down hard on. And it's possible there could be a big bidding war for CJ Henderson that we won't be able to top. If a mediocre or bad team offers their 2022 second rounder for him, then it's going to be really hard for us to beat that offer. But I want to see this team at least put their hat in the ring here. Throw your hat in the ring, make offers, see what you can do. It's not like Jacksonville is known for being great conductors of business. So if they want to give up on a guy before he does anything in the NFL, despite his insanely high pedigree and clear talent and clear ability to potentially play at a high level in the NFL one day, that's the kind of stuff you want to grab onto. So I don't know if we have a trade in us this offseason. I don't know. But if we do, this is the kind of thing we should be jumping on if we're going to swing for the fences. You want to give up a top pick, go get the guy who's going to be cheap for the next 3 to 4 years. Go get the guy with elite potential. Go get the guy who proved that he could play half decently on a terrible team in 2020. CJ Henderson, let me know what you think down below. Again, I have no reason to believe this team has expressed any interest in him yet, but this is the kind of thing we should be expressing interest in. Bring me CJ Henderson 100 times before you bring me Gilmore or Howard once. See you guys later today. Go Hawks.